Have you ever thought that with just $195 a month, you could wake up near the ocean, step out onto a small balcony, and look at a home that's twice the size of the one you're paying $2,000 for in the US? It sounds impossible, almost like one of those too good to be true stories people tell on the internet. But what if it isn't? What if the numbers you've been struggling with your whole life, rent, insurance, groceries, utilities, aren't universal truths, but just the price of living in the wrong place? Imagine a morning where you don't need to check the price of breakfast before ordering. A place where a full plate of fresh seafood costs less than a cup of gas station coffee back home. A life where opening your mailbox doesn't raise your blood pressure. No surprise bills. No fear of rent increases. No silent panic every time your phone buzzes because, what if it's another charge? And most importantly, no constant pressure telling you that working 40, 50, 60 hours a week is the only way to stay afloat. Because somewhere out there, far from the noise, far from the stress, are three places where $195 to $250 is enough to rent a clean room near the beach. Places where local markets look like the prices you used to see in 2008, not 2025. Where the air feels lighter, the pace is slower, and every breath feels like your chest finally remembers how to expand. These aren't dreamlands. They're real towns, real coasts, real people living real lives, at a cost that doesn't crush you. And today we're stepping into them one by one so you can see for yourself that life doesn't have to be expensive to be beautiful, peaceful, or meaningful. If you've ever felt that you're paying too much just to live too little, then stay with me, because what you're about to see might just open the door to a completely different life, one you can actually reach. Country 1, Mui Ne, Vietnam. There are places where the moment you step into them, you don't need anyone to introduce anything to you. No brochures, no advertisements, no perfectly edited travel photos. Just one look at the ocean, one breath of salty wind, one sound of waves folding into the shore. And you know you've entered a rhythm of life you should have met years ago. Mui Ne is one of those places. Morning here opens like a slow-motion scene, a sleepy beach fisherman pulling in their heavy nets round blue basket boats scattered across soft white sand, and colorful wooden fishing boats, red, yellow, deep blue lining the water, like a painting that doesn't need filters. Turn your back to the sea, and you'll see the famous red sand dunes, Vietnam's miniature Sahara, where the wind shapes curves as smooth as silk. The mix of endless ocean-warm dunes and gentle quietness makes you feel like time flows on a different beat, here slower, softer, kinder. The pace of life in Mui Ne is what makes so many people stay longer than they planned. Sunrise doesn't need an alarm clock. The light simply finds its way into your room, knocking softly, inviting you to wake up gently. No car horns, no rush, no pressure. And at night, the sea breeze is so cool you'll want nothing more than to sit at a small roadside stall, watching the narrow alleys glow with warm yellow light. The locals are so kind, you could swear you've known them forever. A nod, a smile, a small greeting, that's all it takes to feel like you belong. If Ahmed in Bali is the slow breath that heals you, then Mui Ne is the deep breath that reminds you that you're actually alive, not just surviving. And the thing that surprises people most is the cost of living. You can rent a clean room just a short walk from the beach for $180, $230 a month. A fully furnished studio with a small kitchen, a nice bathroom, a large bed, even a balcony facing a garden, or the sea costs $250, $380. In the US, that amount wouldn't even rent a parking space in a big city. Here, it buys you space, privacy, and peace of mind. A full month of living in Mui Ne food, seafood meals, coffee. Every afternoon, gas daily expenses comes to just $500, $700. A hot bowl of pho costs $150, $3. Fresh seafood right off the boats is $3.07, and fruit is cheap all year round. Each number feels like a reminder that you've been living in an unnecessarily expensive world for far too long. And it isn't just cheap. Muine is perfect for remote workers. The internet here is surprisingly fast. 50 to 200 Mbps is normal. Digital nomads, video editors, coders, designers, they all live and work comfortably here. You can work in the morning, then spend the afternoon riding your motorbike along the coastline, letting the wind blow away years of stress the city has carved into your shoulders. And slowly, you start to feel something many people search for their entire lives: balance. I met Jeff, a 52-year-old man from California, at a small cafe facing the horizon. He told me he came here for a 6-month break, trying to recover after a difficult period in the U.S. 6 months. But now, it's been 4 years. Jeff said something I'll never forget. In the U.S., I worked to pay for life. Here, I actually live life. And when he said it, he was sitting barefoot in the sand, holding an iced coffee that cost less than $1. A simple image, but beautiful in a way money can't buy in a high-cost country. Of course, like anywhere else, Muine has its drawbacks. For major medical care, you'll need to drive 30-40 minutes to Fontiet. Weekends can get a little busy with domestic tourists. But when you place everything on the scale, low cost of living, safety, gentle people, incredible food, healing atmosphere, you realize that the downsides are so small they barely matter. So the final question for you is this: would you dare live a month in a place where life slows down, just enough for you to finally hear your own thoughts again? Country 2, Las Terrenas, Dominican Republic. The Caribbean has many beaches, many towns, many postcards that look almost too perfect. But very few places carry the kind of energy that Las Terrenas does. This isn't just a beach town. It's a mood, a rhythm, a way of being. The day here begins with the color of turquoise water glowing under the sun, the sound of soft reggae flowing through the breeze, and the rustling of tall palm trees bending as if swaying to the music. European expats walk barefoot along the shoreline, not because they want to look adventurous, but because that's simply how people move here, light, unbothered, free. And when the afternoon arrives, the beach slowly turns into a playground. Children kick a ball across the sand, their laughter echoing across the water, creating a warmth that even the Caribbean sun can't compete with. Las Terrenas is built on an energy that feels free-spirited in the truest sense of the word. No one studies your clothes. No one asks what you do for a living. No one cares how expensive your watch is or whether you wear one at all. Life here is stripped to its essence: sunshine, ocean, community, joy. The locals greet strangers with wide grins that feel real, not polite. You order food, they remember your name. You walk down the same street twice, someone waves at you. A sense of belonging forms without effort, without trying. It's a place where you feel allowed to exhale, and to be the version of yourself that in bigger, faster cities keeps getting pushed aside. And for a place this beautiful, the cost of living is surprisingly gentle. A cozy studio a short walk from the beach ranges between $300 to $450 a month. If you prefer a small villa with a private pool or shared pool sunlight sliding through every window and a garden full of hummingbirds, $600 to $900 is enough, less than half the price of a basic apartment in many American cities. Meals are simple, flavorful, and inexpensive, $4 to $7 for fresh grilled fish, rice, and vegetables. A seaside coffee is $1.50 to $2, and a full month including rent, food, transportation, and a few nights out comfortably lands between $750 to $100. In a place where you wake up to beauty every day, the numbers almost look unreal. The lifestyle here is a different kind of richness. Surfboards lined up on the sand in the early morning. Divers preparing their gear near the rocks. yoga groups practicing under the palm trees, the sound of waves guiding their breath. And at night, the town lights up softly, not loud, not chaotic. Tiny cafes glow with warm light bars, play gentle Latin music, and people gather not to impress, but simply to enjoy being alive. The expat community here is one of the largest in the Northern Caribbean, and instead of forming exclusive circles, they blend effortlessly with locals. You'll see French bakers running small shops, Italians managing beach restaurants, Americans running surf schools. Everyone contributes a little piece of themselves to the town's character. And then there are the personal stories, those that quietly reveal why people stay. One afternoon, I met Marcus from New Jersey. He originally booked a 2-week vacation, just enough time he thought to escape the cold. 2 weeks turned into 2 years. When I asked him why, he smiled the kind of smile you only see on someone whose life finally feels right. Here, people don't rush. They live. He wasn't exaggerating. Here, life unfolds at the pace of your heart, not the pace of your deadlines. Of course, Las Terrenas isn't perfect. The Wi-Fi can be moody some days, slipping in and out like a playful child. And the roads, especially those leading out of town, aren't always as smooth or as polished as what most Americans are used to. But for many, these imperfections only add a kind of authenticity to the experience. They're part of the town's charm, not problems to fix. So the real question becomes, do you think your soul fits this kind of free Caribbean rhythm? Country 3, Mazatlán, Mexico. There are beach cities that feel chaotic, loud, overwhelming. And then there is Mazatlán, a place that balances calm, modern comfort and seaside beauty in a way that immediately tells you this is where life finally slows into something sustainable. The first thing you see is the Malecón, one of the longest boardwalks in the world, stretching endlessly along the ocean like a silver ribbon. At sunset, the sky turns a deep purple-orange, reflecting on the waves, as if someone painted light directly onto the water. Walk a little inland, and you enter the old Spanish Quarter. Yellow street lamps, stone alleys, colonial balconies, outdoor cafes, filled with soft music and people enjoying the night breeze without hurry. The streets are cleaner than what most travelers expect, a vibe almost like Florida, but calmer, safer, and without the price tag that usually comes with coastal comfort. Mazatlán is not a party hotspot. It's not a backpacker chaos zone. It's a grown-up beach city stable, structured, pleasantly predictable. A place where you feel a sense of order the moment you arrive. Roads are smooth. Neighborhoods are neat. Hospitals look like what you'd normally expect in the U.S. modern, well-equipped English-speaking doctors available. Big supermarkets like Walmart, Soriana, and Mega line the main roads, giving you access to everything from local fruits to imported goods, all without the anxiety of complicated shopping. It's the kind of place retirees choose because they crave peace and familiarity. And it's the kind of place long-term expats pick because life simply works here. No chaos, no confusion. Just a steady rhythm, mature, comfortable, grounded. And surprisingly, even with this level of convenience, the cost of living stays gentle. A clean condo near the beach ranges from $550 to $800 per month. If you want a modern unit with an ocean view, a pool, a gym, and 24/7 security, something that would cost $3,000 plus in the US, you can find it here for $850 to $100. Meals run about $4 to $8 for grilled fish tacos, ceviche, or a hearty local dish. A full month rent, groceries, dining out, transportation, internet, and weekend fun usually falls between $1 or $100 For a city that feels polished and complete, the numbers feel almost unreal. But the soul of Mazatlán isn't in the prices or the convenience, it's in the people who quietly rebuild their lives here. I once met William from Texas, a man in his mid-60s who looked healthier, happier, lighter than he said he had felt in decades. Back in Dallas, he paid $2,400 a month for a small apartment, worked part-time just to keep up with bills, and constantly felt like life was slipping through his fingers. He moved to Mazatlán just to try it for 6 months. Now it's been 3 years. His condo overlooking the ocean costs $700. He told me something I still think about today. I feel like I got my life back. And you could see it in his eyes, less stress, more sun, more time, more breath. Sometimes the transformation isn't dramatic. It's simply choosing a place that gives back what the world once took from you. Of course, Mazatlán isn't the cheapest place in this video. Prices here are a bit higher than in the Dominican Republic or Southeast Asia, but the trade-off is the infrastructure. Better hospitals, cleaner streets, reliable services, larger expat communities. It's a balance many people are willing to pay for, especially retirees who value peace of mind as much as beauty. In worlds filled with noise and uncertainty, Mazatlán offers something rare: stability without sacrificing joy. So now the final question for you is not about money, but about life. Would you begin a new chapter where life is stable, beautiful, and far cheaper than the US? 3 places, 3 energies, and 3 different versions of who you could become. Muine is the reminder that life can be light, slow, and healing. A place where each sunrise feels like medicine for the soul, and every breeze whispers that you still have time to live. It's where the world stops rushing you and finally lets your heart move at its own pace. Las Terrenas is pure joy, freedom, and Caribbean energy. The kind of atmosphere that makes your shoulders relax, your mind open, and your smile appear without effort. There, life doesn't question your status, your income, or your job title. It simply asks one thing. Do you want to enjoy today? And for many people, that question alone is enough to change the direction of their lives. Mazatlán is the mature chapter, stable, clean, and fully equipped for a long-term life, yet still wrapped in ocean breeze, purple sunsets, and evenings that feel like a soft embrace. It's a city where you can settle down gracefully, live comfortably, and stop trading your health time or peace just to keep up with the cost of living. 3 very different vibes, but all pointing toward the same truth: life doesn't need to be expensive to be good. A good life isn't measured by how much you pay. It's measured by how deeply you get to breathe, how gently your days unfold, and how fully you feel like yourself. Sometimes you don't need to earn more. You just need to stand in the right place. Because a low cost of living is not the goal itself. It's simply the signal that a better, kinder life is possible. So here is the final question for you. If you could live near the beach for a fraction of the US cost, would you dare begin a new life? Comment yes if you're ready for your next chapter. Comment no if you still need time to think. Because who knows, maybe the answer you give today will become the beginning of the most beautiful chapter of your life.